Spain survived a tense Iberian showdown to edge Portugal 1-0 and book their place in the 2026 FIFA World Cup quarter-finals, but the scoreline barely reflected the intensity of a match that remained deadlocked until the very final moments. On a hot evening in Dallas, two European heavyweights produced a tactical battle filled with discipline, patience, and flashes of brilliance rather than constant attacking fireworks. Luis de la Fuente's unbeaten Spain entered the match full of confidence after cruising past Austria in the previous round, while Roberto Martinez's Portugal hoped Cristiano Ronaldo could inspire another memorable knockout performance after his dramatic heroics against Croatia. From the opening whistle, Spain controlled possession with their trademark passing rhythm, yet Portugal remained compact and dangerous whenever they found opportunities to counterattack. The first warning came inside 9 minutes, when Spain carved open Portugal's defense with a beautiful passing sequence. Dani Olmo slipped a perfectly weighted through ball into the path of Mikel Oyarzabal, who found himself completely clear with only Diogo Costa to beat. The Real Sociedad striker looked certain to continue his remarkable scoring run, but dragged his finish inches wide of the far post, leaving Spain wondering how such a golden opportunity had been wasted. Portugal gradually responded through Bruno Fernandes and Cristiano Ronaldo. Fernandes constantly searched for Ronaldo's runs behind Spain's defensive line, and in the 13th minute the Manchester United midfielder stole possession before quickly releasing his captain. Ronaldo managed to get his shot on target, forcing Unai Simon into his first important save of the evening. It wasn't spectacular, but it reminded Spain that Portugal needed only a single opening to punish them. Spain continued creating the clearer chances. Lamine Yamal began finding space on the right wing, constantly testing Nuno Mendes with his pace and dribbling. In the 17th minute, Yamal cut inside before curling a dangerous effort toward goal that Costa brilliantly pushed away. The rebound fell kindly to Alex Baena, whose powerful follow-up looked destined for the top corner, until Costa produced another outstanding reflex save to keep Portugal level. Those consecutive stops kept Roberto Martinez's side alive during one of Spain's strongest periods. Portugal relied heavily on the athleticism of Nuno Mendes, who repeatedly surged forward from left back while also dealing admirably with the threat posed by Yamal. The PSG defender nearly produced the breakthrough in spectacular fashion after combining cleverly with João Felix from a short corner routine. Mendes unleashed a thunderous strike that took a slight deflection before crashing against the crossbar, with Spain surviving by the narrowest of margins. It was Portugal's closest effort of the opening 45 minutes and finally gave their supporters something to celebrate after spending long periods chasing Spain's possession. Despite Portugal's occasional attacks, Opta's expected goals reflected Spain's superiority, with La Roja producing nearly one expected goal before halftime compared to Portugal's modest total. Ronaldo, meanwhile, found himself increasingly isolated. Statistics showed he had now recorded 17 shots throughout the tournament without creating a single chance for a teammate, highlighting Portugal's dependence on individual moments rather than fluid attacking combinations. Spain remained composed defensively, extending their remarkable run without conceding while continuing to circulate possession through Rodri and Pedri in midfield. Every attack seemed carefully constructed, though the finishing touch remained elusive. As halftime approached, both teams exchanged one final series of attacks. João Felix briefly required treatment after colliding with the advertising boards, while Pedro Neto also received medical attention before both continued. Spain kept probing through Yamal, Baena, and Olmo, but Portugal's back four, led by Ruben Dias and Renato Veiga, stood firm under increasing pressure. Anthony Taylor eventually brought the entertaining first half to an end, with the scoreboard still reading 0-0. Spain walked into the dressing room, feeling they should have been ahead after creating the better opportunities, while Portugal knew Diogo Costa's heroics and Mendes's crossbar effort had kept them firmly alive. With a place in the World Cup quarterfinals at stake and Cristiano Ronaldo potentially playing one of the final major tournament matches of his extraordinary international career, everything remained perfectly balanced heading into the second half. The second half never quite reached the attacking quality many expected, as both teams became increasingly cautious, knowing a single mistake would end their World Cup dream. Spain continued to dominate possession, but struggled to break through Portugal's disciplined defensive block. Lamine Yamal remained Spain's most dangerous outlet, repeatedly taking on Nuno Mendes down the right flank, though the Portuguese fullback produced one outstanding defensive display after another. Pedro Neto tried to inject pace into Portugal's counterattacks, delivering a dangerous low cross that flashed across the 6-yard box, but neither Cristiano Ronaldo nor João Felix could arrive in time to convert. Moments later, Ronaldo rolled back the years with a trademark driving run through midfield before appealing for a foul, but referee Anthony Taylor waved play on. Portugal then suffered a huge setback as Nuno Mendes, arguably their best player on the night, was forced off injured and replaced by Nelson Semedo, significantly weakening their ability to contain Yamal. Spain sensed the opportunity and gradually increased the pressure. Pedri fired a deflected effort over the bar before Dani Olmo spun brilliantly inside the penalty area, only to see Ruben Dias throw himself into a crucial block. Yamal also tested Diogo Costa from a dangerous free kick, but once again, Portugal's goalkeeper stood firm with another confident save. Roberto Martinez responded by introducing Rafael Leao, Diogo Dalot, Francisco Conceição, and Bernardo Silva in search of fresh energy, while Luis de la Fuente answered with Ferran Torres, Fabian Ruiz, and eventually Mikel Merino. As the clock ticked into the final 20 minutes, the match became increasingly physical and tactical rather than open. Portugal frustrated Spain by slowing the tempo and denying space between the lines, while Spain patiently recycled possession without finding the decisive breakthrough. Opta's live projections increasingly favored extra time, and both sides seemed to be preparing mentally for another 30 minutes. Bernardo Silva finally had a sight of goal after a clever move but could only fire into the side netting, while João Neves and Bruno Fernandes struggled to provide Ronaldo with meaningful service inside the penalty area. Spain refused to panic despite their lack of clear opportunities. Ferran Torres immediately added greater directness after coming off the bench, stretching Portugal's defense with intelligent movement and quick passing combinations. Then, just as the match appeared destined for extra time, Spain produced one final moment of quality. Deep into stoppage time, they restarted play quickly from a free kick, catching Portugal's defense before it could fully reorganize. Fabian Ruiz quickly found Torres, whose perfectly weighted reverse pass split the back line. Mikel Merino timed his run to perfection, raced through one-on-one with Diogo Costa, and calmly slotted his finish into the bottom left corner to send the Spanish supporters into absolute delirium. After more than 90 minutes of frustration, Spain had finally broken Portugal's resistance. Portugal desperately threw everyone forward during the remaining minutes. Bernardo Silva missed a glorious chance when he glanced a header onto the roof of the net from Conceição's superb cross, before arguing with former Manchester City teammate Rodri in the aftermath. Ferran Torres was booked after bringing down Conceição near the touchline, handing Portugal one final opportunity to deliver the ball into the area. Bruno Fernandes launched the free kick toward João Neves, whose diving header drifted agonizingly wide of the far post. Seconds later, Anthony Taylor blew the final whistle, confirming Spain's dramatic 1-0 victory and a place in the World Cup quarterfinals. Spain finished with a deserved expected goals advantage of 1.77 compared to Portugal's 0.60, reflecting their greater attacking threat throughout the contest, even if they were far from their dazzling best. De La Fuente's substitutions ultimately proved decisive, with Torres providing the assist and Merino delivering the winning goal when it mattered most. For Portugal, the defeat marked another painful World Cup exit, and perhaps the emotional end of an era. Television cameras repeatedly focused on Cristiano Ronaldo, who at 41 years old may well have played the final major tournament match of his legendary international career. Although he fought tirelessly throughout the evening, the iconic forward received little service and was unable to produce one last unforgettable moment. Spain, meanwhile, marched into the last 8 with yet another clean sheet, extending their remarkable unbeaten run and keeping alive hopes of lifting another World Cup trophy as they prepared for a quarter-final showdown with either the United States or Belgium.